the recording. Today I'm doing live immigration Q&As. So I'm here today to answer all your questions. So for those of you who are joining right now, please feel free to ask any question in the comments or in the chat, and I will read it out loud and I will answer the questions. I don't know for how long it will be. It's different every time, but usually I say like 5 minutes, 10 minutes because no one's joining and no one's asking any questions. And then like it starts and I spend here like 45 minutes. So we'll see about today. I don't have too much coffee left. So probably whenever my voice will start cracking or something, I will just finish the live stream. So let's see. If no one joins, that would be the most boring live stream probably ever. So we'll see. This is weird. Someone is commenting, but it doesn't show any people live. So I don't know how this works. Ramachandran, hi sir. Hi Ramachandran. Thank you for joining. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. I'll be happy to answer. I'll be happy to answer to India as well. Hakan Kab, hi, I'm here. Nice to have you here. I'm here as well. I'm here for you today. So guys, if you have any questions about visa related issues or residence permits, citizenship, permanent residency, ask me. If you have any questions about starting a business or running a business in the Czech Republic, feel free to ask me. If you have any questions about health insurance, finding accommodation, all this, please ask me. I'm here to answer all your questions. Flixtex, probably mispronouncing. How are you? I'm good. Hakan from Turkey. Hi to Turkey. I know there is a variation of my name, which is Can. Can. We had a client called Can from Turkey. I was trying to see if I can say something in Turkish, but that's probably it. And we have some Turkish sweets actually here. A client brought us a Turkish sweets as a gift. So we have it here as well. I'm from Zimbabwe. Hi to Zimbabwe. We've had some clients from Zimbabwe as well. I'm in the process of student regime. Any tips regarding visa interview? It depends on what you mean in process, because it seems like nothing happened yet. So for the interview, I've done a video specifically about the topic, about student interview, what kind of questions you should expect and what kind of answers the immigration expects from you. So go to my channel, and if you just search for interview or student interview, you will find a whole video dedicated to this topic. It's the best because generally speaking, if you're an Indian, it's difficult for you to get a visa. Generally, student visa is the easiest to get, but now many people from India are just like misusing that. They apply for a student visa because it's easy, and then they get here, find a job and switch to an employee card. The ministry doesn't like it, so I think they will be making it more complicated for future students to come here. And the main thing they're looking at is your motivation. So why, like there are, I don't know, 200 countries in the world. Why the hell do you want to study in the Czech Republic? And not somewhere else? Why don't you want to study in India? Why don't you want to study in Germany or in the US or whatever? So this is the main thing. They look at your motivation. If you really want to study in the Czech Republic, you really need to justify it. If they don't think that you really want to study, but you're just trying to get a visa for Europe, they will deny the visa. But again, more in the video I've done about this topic already. Hiba Dahmani, hi from Prague. Did you work with Algerian clients before? Yes, we've had, I believe, at least 2. I remember one English teacher whom we brought here many years ago. I believe he still lives here, but he got a Czech partner or an EU partner, and they switched to a partnership visa, which is the best you can get besides PR. So yeah, we've had some Algerian clients as well. Not too many because it's a difficult country to get a visa for, but we've had some. Rahil, does PR somehow benefit for tax savings purposes for non-EU people? Well, not really. The only thing is that if you stay here under the business license, trade license, the business visa, business residence permit, whatever, you need to do your taxes in the way that you pay higher taxes, but you show higher income, so you can stay here you can qualify for the residence permit, either the long-term one or the permanent residency. If you get, or when you get the permanent residency, they don't look at your income again at all. So then you can do taxes the same way as Czechs do. Most of Czechs do that. You deduct 60% from your income as your expenses, and you only pay taxes from 40%, which you cannot really do if you need the income for your extensions. You can if you have high enough income, but with regular, most like common incomes, you cannot do that. So that's the only thing that changes. Other than that, the taxation is always the same. Hakan Kap, I applied for family reunification visa and they invited me for an interview on May. Yesterday, police visited my wife in our house in Prague and asked some questions about me. Is this normal procedure? Well, definitely normal, not a normal procedure for family reunification, but what you probably mean is the temporary residence permit for family members of EU citizens, in which case this is a pretty standard procedure. The foreign police always comes, they ask you questions, they can also invite you for an interview later on. So yeah, this is a standard procedure. If you really applied for family reunification, meaning that you are both non-EU citizens, this would be very strange. But if you applied for a temporary residence permit, then it's completely normal. Hiba, is it true that you can get PR after 4 years with blue card compared to 5 years with work permit? Yes, there are some exceptions where you can get PR faster. For example, if you're married to an EU citizen or Czech citizen or EU citizens with PR already in the Czech Republic, then you can get it after 2 years. For blue cards, there are some exceptions as well. I'm not sure if 4 years instead of 5 years, but for blue card, for example, you can count the years you spent in some other EU country. So if you lived in Germany for 3 years, and then you move to the Czech Republic, you can get the PR after 2 years here because they count also the 3 years in Germany. So you have 5 years in total. Maybe you can get it even sooner, but I would need to double check that because that's not a very common scenario that someone would have a blue card and would be getting PR after 4 years, at least not for our clients. So I don't know from top of my head. It's possible because the blue card has many advantages, as for example this one, that you can count the years you spent somewhere else under the blue card, but I cannot confirm if 4 years is correct. Ramachandran, I'm doing PhD already. I have started to be part of my supervisor's project and started creating a mobile app for the project. Will this help? Can I share this information during the visa interview? For the student visa, well, the question is if you... I would probably not mention it, but of course I don't know anything about your case and your situation. So now it's just like a very piece of information, but I would probably not use it because what's the reason for you to get a visa if you work for them anyway from India? So why the Czech Republic should give you a visa if you work for them anyway? So already. So I would probably not mention it like this. Maybe you can mention that you already have some connections there, that they can ask about you with the supervisor or whatever, but just with this limited amount of information I have about your case, I would probably not put it this way. Anurag, I have been to Praha Veltržní. Okay. So you visited one street in Prague. Flichtex, how long does the employee card usually take to be issued? Well, officially the ministry has 60 to 90 days, but probably if you've watched some of my videos or you have some experience with Czech immigration, you know that it can be anything from 10 days to forever, basically. I would say for most people around 2 months. Extensions are a standard like 4, 5, 6 months because that's not a priority for the ministry. So it depends, but standard officially the ministry has 60 to 90 days. Ozymandias, is it possible to change from blue card to employee card for non-EU citizen after 6 months? Yeah, you can change to an employee card from a blue card. You would be downgrading yourself in terms of everything, basically, but you can do it if you want. Yeah, I will check if I'm not misleading you. Definitely possible the other way around, from employee card to blue card. From blue card to employee card, I'm almost positive as well, but I've never seen anyone do it because it's like downgrading your status basically. So you're going from a better type of residence permit to a worse one. So I haven't seen anyone actually do it in real life. Okay. Can someone, Amok Harde, can someone who is here on a tourist visa give job interviews? You can give job interviews if you want, but you cannot switch to any other type of visa or residence permit. You always need to leave the country and apply through a Czech embassy. So you can do interviews, but you cannot get hired and switch here. Your opportunity, blah, blah, blah. Maria Rausa. Hello, can a common law partner be accepted for a family reunification visa? Both third country nationals, thank you. Well, I don't know exactly what common law partner means. If it means that you're just like registered somewhere as that you live together, that's questionable. If it's for example, you're a gay couple and this is the only thing you can get proven your, let's say, marriage or registration or whatever, then it might be accepted. But it depends. Usually for family reunification, it's specifically said you need to be married or you need to be registered partners to qualify for the family reunification. So if you're anything else than that, you officially don't qualify. But you can always try to apply for the other purpose of stay and declare that you have the relationship and then show maybe this partnership, and then you still might be approved. But officially for family reunification with all the advantages it has, like free access to the labor market, all that, you need to be married or registered partners. Not working, sir, in the PhD program, dissertation, sorry for not explaining properly. Well, I think this would be better to discuss directly or to have some consultation or something like that. But definitely check the video I've meant and I've mentioned. I talk there about all the different questions they have and how is it all connected and related. So that should give you a pretty good idea of what to expect at the interview. Jaya Prakash Gadam. Hi, I'm Indian working as care worker in UK, planning to apply for work permit in Czech. How can I apply? Is there any possibility we're getting enough working hours in UK? I'm not getting enough for working hours. Okay. Well, it depends. First thing is that if you're Indian, you can only apply for any type of Czech visa or residence permit in India or in the country where you have been legally residing for more than 2 years. So if you've been in the UK for legally residing, meaning you have a residence permit, you have a copy of it or whatever, you can prove it, then you can potentially, for more than 2 years, then you can potentially apply at the Czech embassy in London. There are no quotas, nothing like that, so that's definitely possible. The first thing you need to do though is to get a job and find a company that is willing to support you in the whole process and help you get the employee card. Kazar Eldarly, hello, long time no listen. Now I would like my appreciation, your effort to answer all questions. My pleasure, that's why I'm here, so happy to be answering the questions. It's 30 people joining already, so that's great. Thank you guys for being here. Hiba, what are the activities we can do as foreigners to prove that we are integrated in Czech society? You mean like for the citizenship? Probably, because you don't really need to prove anywhere else that you're integrated. Well, there is a bunch of things, because it's not like one thing you do and then you're integrated. It's like they look at your case as a whole. So they want to see if you're single or if you are like married to an EU citizen or Czech citizen living here. Maybe you have a kid. Then also like if you have a mortgage, because if you own a property in the Czech Republic, it's also like a nice connection to the Czech Republic. Then also if you're a member of some sport club, for example, or some other club. So if you regularly play soccer, like football or a basketball or whatever, or you're a member of Sokol, or like you are part of these like normal things that Czech people do, which is if you stick, like if you're alone and you stick to a foreigner's like groups or whatever, you don't really mingle with Czechs, you don't go out with Czechs. I mean, like these kind of sport activities or things like that, then it might be very difficult to prove that you're integrated. But if you do, like basically imagine yourself being a Czech person, or if you know a Czech person, so what they do, then you should be doing similar things here. Yeah, it's not one thing. It's like a combination of different things and how the whole life of yours looks like. So if you're alone, you don't have any like spouse or kids here, but you own a property and you're a member of some football club, and like you regularly go help somewhere to some like centers, I don't know where. That's fine. On the other hand, if you have a wife, but then like a Czech wife, but other than that, you don't do anything related to anything Czech, basically, it might not be enough. So they look at your life as whole, because for the citizenship, you need to write a motivation letter where you explain the motivation why you want to become a Czech citizen, and this is where you like explain the integration. Last hope. Okay. Hello, sir. Can you tell me about the student visa ratio for Pakistanis? Well, student visa is generally the easiest to get. On the other hand, it's only easiest if you really want to study here. If you just want to apply for a Czech visa to get an EU visa and then travel like around, and you don't really care about the Czech university, then probably your chances are low. If you really want to study and if you can explain your motivation, then the chances are pretty high. So I would say it's not like a general ratio for Pakistanis. It's more like, are you a cheater and you just try to get a visa for Europe, or you are really motivated to study in the Czech Republic and you have some real reasons to be here and to study here? Because this is what the embassy will try to find out during the interview you'll be having. Jaya Prakash, thank you, sir. Good information. Appreciate your valuable time. My pleasure. Web3 101. How is entry-level job market for software engineers, for foreigners especially? Well, generally speaking, I'm not like an expert in employment, like in terms of looking for jobs and stuff like that. Employment in terms of getting employee card, getting blue card, changing of employers, like from the immigration perspective, yes. But from finding a job or salaries or something like that, not an expert in that. But generally speaking, there is a huge demand for software developers. But now, from what I've seen, the last couple of years, it was like skyrocketing. If you were a software developer, like every company wanted you, and they were willing to pay you almost anything you wanted just to have you. Now this trend is kind of like stopping from what I've seen. And companies do not really want to pay more than that. So maybe to reduce cost, they would be looking for cheaper options, like someone just starting in the field. So it might actually be good opportunity for you. But again, this is just something I've seen around, but I'm not a professional in that field. Alina Mohammed. Hello, sir. I'm a nurse and from India. How can I get a job in Czech? My husband is working there. Well, if your husband is working there, don't look for a job. Come here under family reunification, and then you're fine. And then you can get a job here easily. But definitely coming here under a job is almost impossible in your case, especially if you have a husband already living here. Go this route, go for family reunification, and that will be way better for you. Muhammad Ali Husnain Nawab. Czech embassy is not replying to any of the visa appointments requests sent by different people. I have also mailed them but received an automatic reply, which was not useful. What should we do? I'm talking about the Czech embassy in Islamabad, Pakistan. Well, the question is what you're sending, where you're sending it, and when you're sending it. Because I would need to check Pakistan, because the different Czech embassies have different rules for scheduling appointments, and there are so many Czech embassies, and also different rules apply to different visa types. So I don't know everything from top of my head. I would need to check the website. But often if this is happening, you're making some mistakes. It's not like the embassy would not like to reply to you. Sometimes they take a long time to reply. For example, in the Philippines, the embassy was closed for 2-3 months, I believe, because they were doing some reconstruction. So you could not apply for anything. So it might be, of course, case like this, that there is a problem at this site of the embassy, but usually it's problem of the people applying for the appointments, because for many visa types or residence permit types, there are specified like conditions where you can apply. For example, in India, it's only every second Wednesday in a month, and on one specific time. All the appointments are gone within half a second. So if you apply like 1 second later, after they open the slots, then you have no chance of getting an appointment at all, and they will send you a useless email saying that you cannot get an appointment. So it depends on this. You should definitely follow the guidelines specifically for the visa type you want to apply for, specifically at the embassy you are applying at. Duncan Chandabemba Nguenia. I have definitely mispronounced all your names, sorry for that. Which one is the most affordable comprehensive insurance for student? I'm already in the Czech Republic. If you want to know this, just get in touch with me, send me your date of birth, and I will send you all the different quotes. Student rates only apply if you're below 30, and in most cases also if you can provide confirmation of studies. But under these conditions, we can get you something like 12,000 crowns a year. I will not say from which company, because I don't think we can do that, like compare prices publicly, but the cheapest one is around 12,000 crowns a year. So if you get in touch, send me the details. I'll be happy to calculate some options for you. Totosit, how much will be the cost for family reunification? If you mean our services, then get in touch and I'll be happy to send you the details. Which is the best insurance for students that covers everything, including dental care? None, basically. Dental care, even if you have a public insurance, if you're a Czech citizen, you always need to pay for dental care anyway. But I can recommend maybe one company, because, okay, there are different levels of insurance, of the private insurance. Let's say each of the insurance companies have different levels of the insurance. So usually people go after price. So if you want the cheapest, that doesn't really cover much, or it covers the 400,000 euros because they have to by the law. But other than that, no like extras, nothing you would not expect there. But if you really want to have something extra covered, let's say the dental care, then you can opt for some of the higher coverages and higher options, and that might have it covered. But then the question is if the difference in the price is worth for what you want to get done. But if you get in touch, again, send me your date of birth, send me that you would like to have dental care covered, and I will be happy to send you some options. I've been previously getting reply, but not this time. Yeah, so it's maybe possible. Maybe there is some problem at the embassy. Maybe they already reached the capacity, because in some cases there are just no available spots. In some cases, say in India, all the spots are gone within half a second. So 1 month you can get an appointment, another month you might not get an appointment, and the next 6 months you might neither get an appointment. So it depends. It doesn't have to be always the same. And embassies also from time to time change their email addresses, so you might want to check that as well. If you've been used to sending the email to some address, maybe the address is already changed to something else. Jose Alberto Macias Grimaldo. Hello, my wife has a long-term visa until December 2024. Can she apply for a working visa before or after its validity? What do you mean? Like, you always, if you want to keep your wife here, she always needs to apply for something before her visa expires. So once her visa expires, she's basically illegal in the Czech Republic. Or if you have the 90 days visa-free stay, she would be back on the 90 days as a tourist. So she definitely needs to apply for something before her visa expires. But if she's here under family reunification visa, and then she applies for a family reunification residence permit, she will get a free access to the labor market, which means that she can work freely. So I don't think that makes sense to switch to an employee card because she will be allowed to work anyway under the family reunification. So yeah. Patrik El Talabani. Dobrý den, manželka je zde na krátkodobé vízum a bude žádat o přechodný pobyt. Jako doklad o ubytování předloží ode mě potvrzení vždycky ubytování, ale já mám ale podnájemní smlouvu a můj pronajímatel nechce poskytnout jeho nájemní smlouvu a přitom je v pohodě s mojí ženou v bytě. Bude to rovnou znamenat zamítnutí žádosti o přechodný pobyt, nebo by podnájemní smlouva mohla stačit? A pravděpodobně vám to nezamítnou rovnou, ale zamítnou vám to. A funguje to tak, že když dodáte nějaký dokument, který není v pořádku, tak ministerstvo vám pošle dopis, kde vám řeknou, tohle se nám nelíbí, máte tolik let dní nám to opravit a dodat nám nějaký nový dokumenty. A pokud to dodáte, tak normálně pokračují v řízení a tu žádost vám můžou schválit. Pokud to nedodáte, tak vám tu žádost zamítnou. A vy vždycky musíte mít propojení mezi váma a majitelem té nemovitosti. Protože pokud vy máte podnájemní smlouvu s nějakým nájemníkem, kdo není majitel toho bytu, tak ten člověk nemá k tomu bytu žádný vztah. To je stejně jako kdybych já vám dal podnájemní smlouvu mezi mnou a váma k tomu bytu, kde teď bydlíte. Já s ním nemám nic společného, takže ta podnájemní smlouva mezi náma by byla úplně k ničemu. To znamená, vy vždycky musíte najít ještě to propojení mezi tím nájemcem a tím majitelem. To znamená, ten nájemce vám bude muset poskytnout buď jeho nájemní smlouvu, a nebo nějakou plnou moc od majitele, že ho může zastupovat a tu podnájemní smlouvu s váma sepsat. Abe Odessy, Hayan, if do not work notice period, which is 2 months, what consequences I face? Well, kind of a lot of consequences, I would say. Well, if you leave your job without a reason or without a leave-in notice or without some agreement with the employer, you've broken the law, they can mark it in your record, you might never get a job here again because this is something that will be in your records if your employer wants to be it in your records. So that's one thing. Second thing is, I don't know where you're from, what kind of residence permit do you have, but if you have an employee card, you only have 60 days to change employers. And you can only do it after 6 months of being with the first employer. And there are a couple of rules like that. And for the change of employer, you need to have documents about terminating your previous employment. And if you don't have any documents and the company will probably not give you any documents if you leave them like this, then you will hardly change the employer. So your employee card will be denied. You'll be like deported from the Czech Republic. So I would probably not risk it. You can always give a leave-in notice, leave after 2 months, of course, if it's like a bad job or whatever. I understand, but depends on what's more important for you. Either leaving the job as soon as possible or being able to stay in the Czech Republic. Maro Maro, hi Maro Maro. Wolves. You haven't seen you in forever. How are you doing? I'm good. How are you? I recently got the permanent residency card and I'm getting a new health insurance card, the blue one. What's the difference with the previous green one? Did I understand correctly the new card provides coverage in the whole EU? Thanks. Yes, basically yes. The green one covers you only in the Czech Republic. The blue one covers you in the Czech Republic in the amount of comprehensive care. In other EU countries, just emergency care. So it's not like if you get a flu, you can go to an Italian hospital and everything will be covered for you. But if you go to Italy to ski, you break your leg, then yes, you will be taken care of. Hiba, what is the process for inviting a family member from a third world country for a short tourism stay around 1 to 2 weeks? If you've been living here, if you have some visa or residence permit, and if the visa or residence permit is valid during your planned stay or the planned stay of your visitors, then the best thing is to go to the foreign police, apply for an official invitation letter, then send the official invitation letter to your family, and they apply for an invitation visa. Shorten. Jeff Santos. Good evening, Jan. Is there any changes with the proof of funds? I will need to renew my wife and daughter's residence permit, family reunification. How much should I have at least in my bank account for the renewal application of the residence permit? Thank you. Jeff Santos, I don't remember honestly what kind of residence permit you have if you're the main applicant, because you can only use a bank account statement for family reunification if you have a student residence permit. If you have anything else, if you have an employee card or a business residence permit, you always need to prove monthly income, which is high enough for the whole family. So if you were talking about the monthly income, that depends, but let's say 20 plus 15 just to stay like on the safe side. So 35,000 crowns net salary would be enough for a family of 3. Yeah, so in case of employee card, your family will need to show high enough monthly income, which means your employment contract and your last, say, 3 salary slips. And the required amount is a combination of something called a livable minimum, which is a theoretical amount of money one person needs to survive in the Czech Republic. To make it easier, let's count with 5,000 crowns per adult. So 5,10 for you, for your wife. And let's say 3 for the kid, but let's count with 5 as well, because it depends on the age of the kid. So let's say 15 for the 3 of you, and then the housing cost. If the ministry does not know your housing cost, they will calculate with some general amount, which would be for 3 people around 20,000 crowns, I believe 19,000, whatever. So let's say 20 plus 15, 35 net salary. Guys, it's been already half an hour. So I will finish the last 3 questions here. Hiba, Doodle Pips, and Jessa Pamenyano. And then I will finish the live stream and we'll go to sleep. So Hiba, thank you so much for all the answers. It's very helpful from you. Happy to hear that, happy to help. If you like the content or if you like me and you think our services might be good, which they are, but please share the videos and recommend the channel, recommend Move to Prague. We'll be happy to help, and I'll be happy if you share, like, and comment as always. So Doodle Pips. I applied for long-term residence permit for study purpose. I wonder what does it mean? Mark on the passports page. Doesn't mean anything. Thank you for the response. I'm not really sure what you mean, like mark on the passport page. If it's, I believe I've seen a question like that somewhere, maybe on Facebook or something. If the embassy put a stamp into your passport, that basically just means that you applied for something, and the stamp shows what you applied for, but it doesn't have any value. You cannot use it for anything. It's just a confirmation that you submitted your application. Hi, I just want to ask about apostille in the Philippines. I just get the letter from Czech. They asked for a certified translation of by NBI apostille, but they didn't give me original copies. Do I need? Not sure exactly. Okay, do I need to get a new one or just get a new translation with certified stamp from Czech embassy in Manila and back to the Czech Republic? Okay, so you submitted a criminal check with apostille, but it wasn't translated. So they told you need to get it translated. So if you don't have the original document anymore, you will need to get a new one and get it officially translated. If you got the original document with the apostille back, then you could just get that translated. But if you don't have that, then you would need to get a new one. So I'll finish this. Okay, so Web3 and Marvin, and then I finish the live stream. Hi, good evening. If you are issued a work visa, do you need to enter the Czech Republic immediately, or you can enter anytime as long as the visa is valid? Well, it depends on what you mean by work visa. Because if you mean an employee card, for example, you get a visa which is valid for 6 months, and you can spend here 60 days within the 6 months. To finish the employee card process, you need around a month. So I would not recommend coming here later than like 2 months before the expiration of the 6 months 60 days visa. But other than that, like generally speaking, as soon as possible, because if you wait too long, then they might potentially cancel the residence permit. But if you got a 6 months visa, technically you can come within the 6 months, but keep in mind that the process after you come to the Czech Republic still will take a couple of weeks. So you need to count with that and not come here like when you already have just 2 weeks left on the visa. And Web3 101, what services do you provide? Sorry, I'm new here. Anything for students? That would be another video. That's a lot. I'm a co-founder and co-owner of Move to Prague Relocation Services, which is the best relocation and immigration agency in the Czech Republic and your first friend in Prague. We basically help with everything from getting you a visa, a residence permit, all the extensions, changes of purpose of stay. If you want to get a PR, permanent residency afterwards, if you want to get a partnership visa, if you want to get a Czech citizenship, all that. If you want to find a place to live, if you want to find a flat, we help with that as well. And for students, primarily, we also have plenty of health insurance options. So if you need to get a health insurance as a student, then we can get you the best prices, and it doesn't go together, like best prices and the best coverage, but we can get you either the best price you can get, or we can get you a very good coverage, or something in between, like a good price and good coverage for health insurance. Oh, so the last thing, Rija. Hi Jan, my husband applied Czech job visa, second interview, April finish, but not now, visa ready, still being processed, this is status, any problem, please tell me. I don't know what might be the problem, because I have nothing to do with your application, I have no information about that, but if it's been taken so long, there is probably some problem. But to find out what kind of problem, you would need to contact the Ministry of the Interior in an official way. Not just you call them or send an email, but you would need to send a letter requesting the status and like asking for some information over what you can do. So if you want, we could write similar letter for you. But I cannot tell you what's the problem, because I don't know what documents you submitted, what exactly you applied for. How did you apply, what the documents looked like, what your husband said during the interview, what the employer is about, all that. So there are plenty of factors for me to answer that right now. So thank you very much, guys, for joining, and I will see you again Monday, Thursday, until the end of the world. Bye-bye, good night.